Hi everybody, welcome back, or welcome if you are new. In today's video we are going to be doing my November budget setup, and again we are doing a digital planner. I kind of want to show you guys how you can make this your own type of template. I did create this template for my budget stuff in Canva, and I'm sharing the link down below. So take a pause, go download it, and you can either print it, upload it to your GoodNotes, whatever you want to do. But let's go ahead and get started with the kind of setup that I'm going to do, and this kind of, you can set yours up along with me as we are going to go through this. So the first page, it doesn't look quite right, but this is the way it's printing. I will then go into GoodNotes and actually put this page, the monthly page, as a landscape. Turn it, rotate the page in GoodNotes, and then the rest of the ones are portrait. That's just how I prefer doing this. I just like having a little bit more room on the month spread. But you can do what you want to do in GoodNotes and all of that. But rolling on down into the budget setup, these are all set up as tables, so you can just go ahead and click in here and start typing in everything. So I'm not going to put additional because we're already on the income section. So I am not sharing how much I get on my paycheck 1 or 2 because it is privacy type stuff, but I just don't share it with you. I'm distracted by a cat jumping on some boxes over here, so don't mind me. Rolling on into variable expenses, I'm going to go ahead and type those out, and the budgeted amounts as well. How is the weather where you guys are at? I am currently in Houston, and it is October 30th, and we had a cold front come through last night, so it was nice and cold this morning. I think it's 50 degrees right now. Feels like 45. So it's nice and cool. Home security. Of course, yesterday it was in the 80s, so 85 I think was the high. So I am spelling miscellaneous all types of wrong. Pet supplies for this month, I'm actually increasing that because I just did the order basically, and it was $346. So we're right under that. Sinking funds. This one. Ooh. Water. I have some news on the bills this month. I'm so happy. Extra to debt. Right now I'm going to budget 0, and that gets me a total of $2,653.15 in variable. And then in fixed expenses, cell phone, $58.13. I did get a note from Discovery, can't spell, Discovery Plus, and I have the version without ads, so it was $6.99. I paid $7.57 because of taxes. Well, the rates are going up, and I'm calculating this. It's $8.99, and then I have to add in state taxes and all of that. So $9.73 on that. I'm guesstimating that's going to be the price. I don't actually know what it's going to be, but if I do the 8.25% sales tax, that's that's what it is. Credit card 1 is 0. Credit card 2 is 0. Business credit card has a minimum payment of $184.46. I will do the self-imposed $195. And then home security loan. This is the loan for the equipment for the home security system. And that is just a minimum payment of $62.25. And then emergency fund transfer is $100 for a total of $1,520.78. Scratch that amount on the fixed income or fixed expenses. It's wrong. It's not $1,500. It is $550.59. Now, one thing I changed from last month to this month on the template is where I place the cash envelopes. I honestly don't use the summary that was down here, so I actually moved the cash envelopes up because that is stuff that I'm budgeting for, and that just works better for my brain. So right now it is the 30th. There's still the rest of today and also tomorrow to budget, so I don't have a starting balance for November yet. But I'm going to go ahead and put in the amounts that I plan to add in this month. Personal care is $75 and restaurants is I'm hearing noises outside, so I have one window open, the laundry room window, and that's just because I keep forgetting to walk by and close it. So moving on into the next page, the weekly check-in, I am going to put numbers right here. You can do whatever you want to do. That's just the way I'm going to do it. And I am going to be checking in on groceries. At the beginning of the month, we're budgeting $300. And then I'm adding back in household because I'm going a little crazy on that. So $100 budgeted, and then miscellaneous is 0. And then I'm just going to come through and add the weeks. There are 4 weeks in here, and then total. And I am going to change this so that way it stands out that it's the total. So I'm going to change the color, and it's really simple. You just go and select the line, the cells that you want to change, and then you come up here and you can actually look at all the different colors. So that way you can change it to one of these that are in here. And I forget which one I had it. Did I have it at that one? Do I want that one? You can just play around with it and see what you like. Nope, that's too dark. Let's go with that one. So that will let me know that that's where the totals start for when I do my budget wrap up. There's all these extra lines down here that you can have as many categories that you are checking in on weekly. I mean, I check in on all of mine, but these are ones that I like specifically hone in and focus on and say, where am I overspending? And I'm definitely overspending on household and groceries again, and miscellaneous. But miscellaneous, it's been a lot of doctor's appointments because I ran out of my medical sinking funds. So yeah, that's where we're at. We have the transaction log for the sinking fund. So I'm not going to do anything here because that will be manually added when I am in Good Notes on my iPad. And then here are the sinking funds. So I'm going to go ahead and find my cheat sheet over here and start typing all of that in. There's only one that I know specifically is already fully funded, and that is this first one, which is car inspection and registration. It is fully funded for 2024, so I am not going to add anything, subtract anything. That's not due until 2024. It's over with. I'm not adding or subtracting anything from there. Insurance for the car. I know this is going to be $130. And then maintenance. I'm not putting anything here. Well, I'm going to put something there just so I see it. Because that's how much I'm basically putting into those amounts. So clothing. I don't know where we're starting off right now, so I'm just going ahead and putting in those amounts of what I'll be adding in. Now I have two household. One is in my regular monthly budget and one is in sinking funds. The one that's in my regular monthly budget is buying stuff for the house, like toilet paper, paper towels, baking stuff, stuff like that. The one in my sinking fund currently is being used for when I'm doing room refreshes, so that way I can fully fund the room refresh and not be putting things on credit cards and then trying to recover from that. So medical, subscriptions. I split out the different subscriptions that I have. Nope, that's not the right thing. I can't remember what this one is, honestly. Other is for anything else that I'm not thinking about, or if I decide to download an app that requires a subscription, something like that. So, ooh. Okay, and then the other one is Vicky, and I forget how much that is. I know total that I transfer for that one is $35. I forget how it's split up. So we won't put that in there because I don't have that in my notes, but I have everything else. Next one is summer bills. We currently are going to transfer nothing, but that might change. So I will talk about that at the very end on things that are going on. Taxes, this is the yearly, when I go to file my yearly taxes, how much I pay, so that way I'm not hit March or April when I'm doing taxes and I have to fork over $200, $300, $400. So just squirreling away stuff kind of helps to be able to cover everything and not feel so overwhelmed. Now, prior to last month, I think, I did transfer $8 into the inspection and registration, but I have since switched that over to transfer into the trash because my trash actually is up to $90, and just putting $30 in there is not quite covering it. So I just figured since I have money going into that, it's just, why change the transfer amount when I can just put it into another bucket instead. So vacation, woo, not $1,000, woo. And then last couple more. The house fund is the stuff for the house taxes. I own my house, so I need to be able to put some money into the house. And then we have the HOA, the Homeowners Association, and I live in an area that has trails that connect the neighborhoods, the many subdivisions here. So that, I forget how much that's divided up. It's something 0.33 or something. Insurance for the house, again, because I own the house, I actually have to separate that, and I forget what that is, but it's 0.66 or something like that. And then the other category, which I hope to bump up at some point, but it is the maintenance, and this is for if the water heater goes out, if the furnace goes out, to pay for someone to come. I need to actually do this in November, and it's to have the chimney swept, inspected, the chimney cap inspected, because I do think there's something wrong with the chimney cap. It's not loose, but the concrete around is starting to chip a little bit. So they're predicting that it's going to be a very cold winter, and I want to be prepared in case I have to light some fires this winter. So, because living in Texas and our stupid electric grid is still subpar. So, but that's all I'll say about that, because most of Texans cannot stand that. Anyways, so that whenever I go to get that, pay for that, I will have it come out of the maintenance part of the house. So it's not considered like paper towels and that type of stuff. It's the actual maintenance of the house, and it's not considering refreshes, because I'm like, that's not really doing maintenance work. It's just, you know. So there, I don't really have the total of what I'm going to I mean, I know it's going to be, but on top of this, I get interest rates and interest applied to these accounts. So I transfer in some interest rates and things like that. So because that happens, this is why I'm going to go ahead and delete that category, because I will manually update all of that at the end of the month when I go to do my sinking funds and everything. So I know that was a lot of work to just go and delete it, but I'm just showing you guys what you can do in here. So the first savings tracker is my emergency fund. And I am actually going to decrease this font so it's all on the same line. And then we have the mutual or money market, which I'm also going to decrease. So it's all on one line. And then we have my two different 401ks. And one is for a current job, and one is for an old job that I have yet to be able to roll over into a IRA or something like that. And then the other one are funds, dividends, something like that. I don't worry about the 401k, both 401ks or the funds, because those are retirement. So they fluctuate on, like, one 401k actually has money going into it every month because it's coming out of my paycheck and all of that. But the funds and also the change in market on the 401ks fluctuates because of the stock market. So it's kind of like I look at them monthly, so that way I'm not a huge shock when it's like at the end of the year, it's like, oh my God, why did I lose so much money on all of that? But it's like, if I watch it monthly, it's like, okay, I see the trend. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes down, it goes up. You know, stock market, always fun to watch. But I let the professionals, because I am not savvy on buying stocks and doing all of that. So I let the companies that are managing all of that figure it out for me. And I know I shouldn't be like that, but right now I'm like, I'm just trying to get out of debt first. If I get out of debt and I start putting stuff into savings, then I will start focusing on retirement. I'm just glad to have money going into retirement, unlike previous jobs that I've had, where I've had one job had no retirement plan whatsoever, and the other one I couldn't even put in the minimum amount that the company would match, because I literally was living paycheck to paycheck. But I knew I had to put money in because I want to retire at some point. I'm a long way from retiring. I'm still 20 years away, but that 20 years will go really fast. At least 20 years to, like, I'll be 63 in 20 years. So it's, 25 years. Let's put it that way. I'll be looking to retire in 20 to 25 years. So it's kind of, it'll come quickly. It really will. So, and I definitely need to bump up what I'm putting into retirement. But first I need to get out of debt. So business, CC, and home security loan. Okay, I changed this around as well. I used to have due in this column and then begin right here. My brain doesn't work like that. So begin over here, and then the minimum payment, extra that I pay, and then any interest that's applied to it, and then ending. I could add a column in here where it's saying if I've added anything to the credit card or something like that, but I'm not going to do that. So begin for credit card 1 is 0. I know that I'm not putting anything on that credit card. It is one that my mom and I share, so we don't put much on there unless it's absolutely needed. Credit card 2, I was able to pay off last month. I'm going to keep it blank here because I'm not sure if there will be anything on the statement in the middle of this month that, the statement dates and stuff like that. So I don't know if there's going to be any interest or something like that I have to pay for. So I'm going to hold out on doing that. Business credit card, we are starting out at $6,848.43. The minimum payment is $184.46. I am going to pay $195, but I will also try to pay additional amount to that as well, since I don't have anything in credit card number 2 slot. And then home security, we are at $1,618.50 and $62.25, and that loan is a 0% interest loan, so I am not worried about paying it off. I'm more focused on getting that one credit card paid off. So that's why, yes, it's a little $1,600 is so little. I have that in my emergency fund and I could pay off that loan, but since it's a 0% interest rate and it's so little, $62.25, I'm kind of like, nah, let's focus on doing the business credit card because it actually has an interest rate on it. So it is very important to get that paid off. So total debt this month is $8,466.93. I'm expecting to pay $246.71 this month towards debt. I'll pay more. I just don't know how much more. I have to wait. Then going into business tracker, we have my different streams of income that are currently not making any income, but that's okay. We're going to add them on here and be done with that. If I get any, it's a pleasant surprise and I'll be happy about it. Variable expenses are anything that changes over time, and the first one is office supplies, so pens, pencils, paper. Right now, I'm not budgeting anything. I'm going to go down here. Equipment. Again, nothing. I don't plan on things. It usually happens when it happens. Like last month I bought these lights and also I had to buy an external hard drive. So stickers, I used to buy stickers for doing YouTube when I did my budget, but I haven't been doing that lately to save some money. That's the main thing. And then any miscellaneous type things. So right now we're at that. My fixed expenses are the things that are happening every single month. I used to have two. However, this past month I was able to get rid of one and make it a yearly subscription. So that way it's not a monthly. But the website security for my Reinemeyer editing website does cost me monthly. So I would like to have my income on one of the YouTube, Reinemeyer editing, Amazon, one of those, be able to at least cover the website maintenance and or website security and, you know, eventually the domain registration and all of that type of stuff. But right now it's not doing any of that. So there we go. Spending tracker, I added an extra line down here just so I have it. I mean, I could move this all up, but I like having a little bit of white space so it's not looking as busy. So that is the setup. For those of you that haven't heard about GoodNotes and putting it on your iPad, this is one easy way that you can do this, where you can get a template and then you can download it, set it all up, download it, and then upload it into your iPad. So I'm going to kind of show you guys how to do that. I know if some of you have actually used GoodNotes and all of that, but if you don't have an iPad or tablet or any of that type of thing, you can always print these out and use them as well as, you know, get a pen and paper and do that as well. So if you're going to upload to GoodNotes, you want to go ahead and hit share and then download, and you want it to be a PDF standard. If you want to print, like have really good prints, you would do PDF print, but either way you can do PDF standard and it will be perfectly fine that way. If you don't want all the pages, you can kind of come in here and select the however many pages you want. So you can, if you just want these two, that's all you have to do, and hit none. I am going to go ahead and get all the pages and then download, and it's going to go through the whole process. And then you can save it. Right now I'm going to save it in my downloads because I already have one on my desktop right now. So once you've done the download, you can, of course, however you download it, you can figure out how to download it to your iPad. If you use Canva on your iPad, you can do just that. You saw my reflection there. And then download it to your iPad or your tablet or wherever. I have my devices all connected, so I can basically through the iCloud, I can basically go download it and everything. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and open up my GoodNotes, app. And you can do this in Notion, I mean PDF, I mean, you can do it in a bunch of other, all these changes and everything. But I am going to go ahead to this little icon right here down by the bottom with the by Canva. And this is my planner, current planner. So right now we're going to go ahead and go into the main document thing over here. And I am going to go ahead and click on New. And then I'm going to select Import. And then from there, I am actually going to go.
A few moments later.
So I ended up airdropping from my computer to my iPad on this. And so I'm going to upload it to GoodNotes, import it as a new document. And here it came in through Portrait, or this through the Portrait, and you can easily in here rotate. So you just go up here to the little, if I can, it won't let me do but the three little dots right here, and then hit rotate, and you can tell which way you want it to rotate. So I rotated it 90 degrees, and then that way I can just scroll over. I like having these pages as portrait pages and this one as a landscape page. And then this is where I can come in and add my trackers. I also added a notes column, so that way if I have any extra that roll over, I can put it all over here as well and not take up months, and I can actually figure out what days I didn't spend money and all of that type of stuff. So in here you have is where you can actually come in and start using the pin documents, which is right there, the pin document. Or if you don't like your handwriting, you can also do that one, which is really interesting because you can also do the write to text. So like in here, you can do 160, and then you can just use your finger and move this whole thing around however you want it to be moved. In this case, I'm just going to delete it. Click on the pin tab. And right now, I know for a fact I don't have anything in here, but I can go in here and write whatever I want to do and all of that. So once I get the actual final figures for November, I will add them all in here and do all of that. But again, it is the 30th, and I want to get this video posted on the 1st. So some things are happening on some of my bills. So I got my electric bill for this month and it is down. It's actually under budget, which is a good thing. So I know this month it is going to be $143.46 this month. The other thing, and I'm going to have to go log into it on my computer, and that is my water bill. My water bill, y'all. Kind of ecstatic about this one. I kind of am. So I'll talk about this in a few minutes, but the water meter situation, still ongoing, but I'll talk about it a little bit more on what my plan of action is going forward. But with the new meter in place now, my water bill is going to be a whole lot less. So right now, my water bill that is due in November is $38.71 compared to the $170 that I have budgeted. So I'm going to go ahead and add that amount in here. I will, of course, I have this also on my phone and my calendars. I put up little bill reminders that, not really reminders, but when I look at my calendar, I put as an all-day event the bills that are due and the amount that's due. So I've already done that for the day that the bill is due. I used less than 2,000 gallons of water this past month. For a full month, I've had this water meter in, and I've used less than 2,000 gallons for the entire month. Where before, the water meter was reading 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and all the way up to 16,000 gallons in August. I was absolutely not using that much water. For years, I have not been using that much water. So, we'll go more into that a little bit later. Moving on into the other bill that fluctuates from month to month, that is my gas bill, and we are also under budget on that. We are at $30.99. So, just because of the water bill, I am definitely looking forward to where I can budget a lot less money going forward for these coming years, and for next year mainly. I'm thinking way too far ahead, but really and truly, it's to see that I was paying way abnormal amounts on my water bill is absolutely ridiculous. So I will, of course, update this when I actually pay the bills because they're not due right now. They're due middle of the month and towards the end of the month. So we'll be back to check in, and I'll actually write those in when they happen. So that way I have them to check off when I'm doing my trackers. One other thing on the trackers. So I think what I'm going to do, and if you guys want me to, I will... Actually, I'm going to do it anyways. So I want to go ahead and share my little trackers with you guys. So I actually have them over here, and I'm going to save this page that you see on here. So this whole page right here as a Good Notes. So it will only be available in Good Notes, but I need to go and actually resize all of these to fit into November's squares and for the months. And then you can, of course, I think, come in here and change these categories as well. But I need to resize these so that they all fit in perfectly well. So once I do that, I will be able to upload this as a Good Notes extension. So that way you can download it and then be able to just come in here on the, I forget what these are called, stickers. I can't remember. I think they're stickers, but you can just come in and click on it. Actually, no, it's going to be a picture. Yep, picture. And then you can copy and then go right over to your month and paste it. I know that the miscellaneous one I had already kind of sized it the right way, so that will make it a whole lot easier on all of that. So that's the setup of everything. So bills for this month are looking really good. I am happy to know that I'll be able to kind of update my budgeted amounts for water specifically in 2024 to be a lot lower. So that way I have a little bit more room on what's actually budgeted for bills and everything to be able to go towards debt, because I know for a fact I'm not going to be debt free by December 31st of 2023. So that was my plan, was to be debt free by the end of the year. But with me being at $8,400 of debt still, we're working on it. We're working on it. So one of the goals for next year is to be debt free by the end of next year. So I just need to be hyper focused again and not spend money, which is so difficult to do. I definitely have my dad's mentality on money, but then I also have my mom's mentality. So it's a weird place that I'm at. My dad was a spender. He saw money and he wanted to spend it. My mom was a saver. And so it's like, there are some things that I'm like instant, I'm going to buy it. And then there are some things where it's like, I'm going to hold off until I save for it. So that's where I'm at right now. It's very difficult to be in that where it's like, I want it now. And then, no, we're going to save. But November's budget is looking okay. I know I'm going to have like $400, maybe $500 for Christmas gifts for my mom and my 2 sisters and my sister's 3 dogs. And then, of course, I kind of want to get myself a Christmas present, but my vacuum cleaner was my Christmas present. And then I just bought that stupid wet dry vac. And I have my vacation for next year. So yeah, I'm like, I really want to buy something for myself, but I don't know what it's going to be. What do I want? I don't know. I really don't know at this point. But that's where we are at right now. I am looking forward to this. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of give you guys an update on the water meter situation and my plan of action going forward. So I wanted to wait. Personally, the city has not contacted me back about giving me credits. They haven't contacted me about the water meter thing, any of that type of stuff. So I actually was kind of like holding off on calling them back up until I had a full month of using a brand new meter that was the correct meter in the ground. And now that I actually have how many gallons I used in 1 month, an actual amount, nothing changed in what I was doing. I was still flushing the toilets. I was still using the water, the dishwasher, the washer, the showering. Nothing changed. The only change is that I did actually use more water because I was working on the bathroom refresh. So I was washing out paintbrushes and paint rollers and, working on that and doing a lot more cleaning in there as well. So the water situation, it's like I wanted to get a month's worth of gallon usage on a regular month on this new meter. And then I can go back and say, okay, this is what has happened. We've had a new meter placed in. It now is reading 1,000 something. I have to look at when I looked on the 26th, it was like 1,700 1,700 gallons or something like that. My water bill is saying I only used 1,000 gallons, which it is what it is. So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I can go back and, start working with them on that. I have a work order number for the meter and then talk to them and figure out if there's someone else I need to talk to besides customer service, since now that we have this placed, and I just need to figure out what's going on with their research on the meter, on what happened with the previous meter, and when am I going to start seeing the credits back to my account. So that is my next step, is to call customer service again and tell them everything that I've gone through. So September 1st, I called them up first and said I'd like to have a recheck of the meter, a read recheck, which they did on the 6th of September, 5th or 6th of September. And then that person read the meter wrong when they did it. So when it was the 18th, I think, when I called back up and asked to have a technician actually be there and for me to talk to the technician. That technician came out on the 25th. That's when we knew, when he dug up the old meter and kind of figured out what was going on with it. And he was going to red tag it and send it back to the meter shop. He gave me the work order number for it. And I've waited the full month. And so it's like, give them the history and say, okay, I have this work order number, but I don't know who to contact from here. I know I am owed credits based off of what the current meter that is brand new and working properly reads and what was used in the past. I know this is going to be a long thing. It has to, they have to double check at the meter shop and finance and all of this, they have to do research. But I just want it to, I don't want it to just sit back and, I'm happy that my meter, the new meter, is reading correctly. I'm happy that my bill is a lot lower than it has been, but I also want my money back. Although I'm not going to see the physical money back, I'm going to be credited the money because that's how the city works on public works. And you see that all over the place where people have moved out of state and the city wants to credit their water account and they're like, no, you can't. We've closed the account. Give me my money type thing. I'm not going to be like that. I still have a water bill. I still have everything hooked up. So I'm okay with credits. But it's going to be a large amount that I'm going to be credited. I have a feeling because I have no idea when the old meter was put in. If you are brand new, that water meter was a 5/8 inch meter. However, the dial on the top that actually tells you how many gallons are being used was calibrated for a 1-inch meter. I'm not a big engineer person, but I know enough that you have a smaller meter, smaller diameter meter, and actually the meter is smaller than the 1-inch meter. And when it's calibrated to have more water flowing through it, it's going to calculate incorrectly on a smaller meter because it's thinking more water is flowing through when there's actually not more water flowing through. That's like the basic term, like basic description of what's happening. So the meter, the calibration, everything, it was reading for a lot more water passing through when there was not that much water passing through. Basically, when I did the test to verify how many gallons are actually, how much it's reading and how many gallons are actually being pulled, I have a 5-gallon bucket. You could do like an old paint bucket, but this was an old oil company bucket that has been in my family since God knows when, but I use it to wash my car and it's a 5-gallon bucket. It says 5 gallons on the bottom side of the bucket. I filled it up with water one time. That water meter said I pulled 20 gallons of water into a 5-gallon bucket. 20 pounds of water somehow miraculously fit into a 5-gallon bucket. So it basically was reading for every 1 gallon, it was adding 3 additional gallons onto the one. So it would be 4 gallons. So it's like, I will say I filled it with 5 gallons. Minus that 5 gallons, there's 15 extra gallons that are somewhere. There's not a leak. There's none of that. So need to figure out what's going on. I am happy to have a new meter, so my bill is a lot less. If anything comes out of this, I'm happy about that. I would like to have my money back though, because I've definitely been overpaying for the entire month for many years. We have no idea when this meter was put in. So that's the other thing that they have to go figure out, when was the meter put into the ground at my house, because it was wrong. Let's put it that way. So anyways, I hope that everybody enjoyed this video and a kind of like little walkthrough of the Canva template. And I am doing those for free for you guys and just making it available for you guys. You can always add more tables. You just go crazy on that stuff. just don't sell it because the pictures, the pictures behind are part of the Canva Pro, so just don't sell the pictures. The watercolor designs on the back, but that's the layout and everything. So I hope that everybody enjoyed this video. I'm gonna drink some coffee, not that I need it, but I wanted it, and then I'm gonna start working on editing this video because instead of cleaning my house. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I will be back next week with another budget video, and let's see, this is posted on Wednesday. I will actually be back on Friday with a October budget wrap-up, so you can kind of see where I ended October, which will also carry over into the November, especially the sinking funds, the cash envelopes, savings, debt, pretty much debt that was done. We know what that's going to be. But the other ones, you can kind of check up on those as well. Then I will also be back for my cleaning video, which is what I'm supposed to be doing right now, is cleaning, but no, I'm not going to do that because I need to do this video to get it posted by Wednesday, because I have some stuff to do tomorrow for the elections on Tuesday in a week from now. So, and just a public service announcement. If you live in a state that is holding elections on November the 7th, please go vote. Please just go. It's not going to take any time. Research, look at your counties. Most of them have sample ballots that you can look at, kind of look at everything. Here in Texas, we have a bunch of propositions. I also have City of Houston elections that are going on here as well. So just get out and vote. It's very important. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.